And welcome back to Truth Hurts, where we tell you the truth no matter how much it hurts. Right here, we expose corrupt politicians and lying corporate media and all those fake news reporters. We're broadcasting live from Roseville, Minnesota, right by the heart and the belly of the beast, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I really mean that. I know we were talking, Dawson, right before here we got started that you want to live in Portland. And Portland might be the one place worse than Minneapolis. Might be.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced. I'm not certain, but it's pretty bad in Portland.
My sister says that the one nice thing about living in Portland is that the homeless population there is too doped up to like aggravated assault you.
Yeah,
which isn't a great selling point, but
which, by the way, I guess San Francisco's up there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Minneapolis is pretty bad. Joining me to discuss the issues of the day is Mr. Mega Jesse. How you doing there, Jesse?
Oh yeah, doing good. There's plenty of fake news to get into today, so we got to expose it all.
Reading your comments is a lovely Bridget Williams. How you doing, Bridget?
I am doing excellent.
Fresh off the boat from Ireland, right?
Off the boat, I wish.
Well, it took you forever to get back.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
And then Deep State Dawson running the dials for you. So if you want to be a part of the program, just go to Rumble in the comment section. I think you're monitoring Facebook and YouTube somewhat. Okay. So if you want to interrupt the show at any time, hit that Rumble rant button and put in a Rumble rant. And we will read your comment. We'll interrupt whatever we're talking about. Also, make sure you like the show. It tells the algorithm to share it with other people. And if you're not following us on whatever platform you're watching on, make sure you follow us or subscribe or whatever the heck the stuff is that they call it. I don't know. William used to do that stuff. William's not here. William was in show prep today, by the way. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. William had some time between teaching and shaping young minds today, but we couldn't get him on the show. So hopefully we'll get him soon. Otherwise, on Thursday, you could see him at a Christmas event. I think we have like 5 tickets we could still sell at this point. So you better get on it now, actionforliberty.com. All right, today we're going to talk about so the show is called Is Mort Running for GOP Chair? We're going to talk about the hate brigade, the people that come out of the swamp to bash on the conservative grassroots movement. Then we're going to get into Liz Cheney, the outrageous statement she made. I don't know if you've seen this. And now she's tempting a run for third party, which, by the way, Jesse and I are like, yeah, go run third party there. And why don't you run with Manchin? Then we're going to get into a story Jesse wrote and we published today about the GOP rigging the debate for Chris Christie. If we have time, we'll talk about George Santos. And at the very end, you put something in the notes section. Jesse, I don't know what it is, so I turn the show over to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll like it? Okay. It's risky. Very risky.
It's risky.
Before we get started, anyone
Brad's
in the
wondering,
comment section?
is Mort running? We have Brad.
Well, Brad, let me do the show first. You can't. That's the whole point. What else we got?
Well, I'm just going to say hi to Tucker and Alley Cat and Carla Nelson, the Patriot.
The Patriot. There we go. Good. Got to specify that.
I said it because I knew you would. Beat you to it.
Oh, we got the best audience.
Base Minnesota says Mort is not running. You can skip that segment.
Okay, Base Minnesota. Oh, Base Minnesota's someone right. I don't believe Mort's running for office. Okay, here's what I know: a Facebook page was launched yesterday by somebody. Now, last I checked, anyone can start a Facebook page. So somebody starts a page. Why don't you pull up this tweet from Michael Broadcorp, the biggest hater on the planet in Minnesota politics. And he's breaking the news story. New, over a year before the next Indian GOP leadership election. Now that right there is just a douchey thing to say. Oh, well, there's no... Like, he doesn't know that there's a battle for chair going down on Saturday. Like, my God. A former rep, Eric Mortensen, announces he is running for Inman GOP chair via a new Facebook page. Action for Liberty, this is why we know about it, because, you know, asshole tags us, has been teasing that Mortensen would be delivering some big, important news at their Christmas event on Thursday, which is true. So if you're at the event on Thursday, Mort's got something to tell you. It's not going to be GOP chair. If it's GOP chair, I'm on a loop on this thing.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's not GOP chair. I know what he's announcing on Thursday. It's not GOP chair. So he reports this as if it's news. Eric Mortensen announces. Where did Eric Mortensen announces it? And William told us this was updated, so he doubled down on it. Where is this? Go back. says, update, Representative Eric Mortensen now claims he has nothing to do with creating the Eric Mortensen for M and GOP Party Chair Facebook page. Even though Mortensen commented on the page himself last night, the Facebook page is currently... So, there's the breaking news. He commented on the Facebook page. You know, if someone started a Facebook page saying Jake is running for president, and I found out about it, I'd probably be like, oh, this is kind of hilarious, you know? That's all Eric Mortensen did. But this is how easy fake news is spread. And this guy... Now... You were asking, was it you or William that was asking me who Michael Broadcorp is? Let me explain this guy. Okay.
I think I asked you that. Jesse usually knows more.
No, someone did. Someone asked
I was
me
like,
before
Jesse
you got
usually
here.
knows everything.
Was it me?
Yeah, maybe you too. Did you know who he was?
I know a little bit, but yeah, go ahead and explain what you were going
Well, he's
to
not
about him.
someone important. In fact, I think he thinks he's important, okay? He's the guy that was the deputy chair of the Minnesota Republican Party, and this is like 12 years ago. Then he became the communications guy, director for the Republican Senate Majority. At that time, when he was in that position, and I think that's a taxpayer-funded position, he ends up sleeping with the president, or the majority leader of the Senate, and he has an affair with her. Sleeping is one thing; it's another thing. He has an affair with the president. I'm sorry, I keep saying the president. The majority leader of the Republican Senate. So he gets fired and disgraced. I think he sues the party, but his life must be like plummeting out of control. So what does he do? He goes to the bottle and like pulling a good Dan Wogelmack, gets behind the wheel and eventually gets pulled over and gets a Dewey. He might even crash. I can't even remember his story. It was like 10 years ago. But that's Michael Broadcorp. That's the kind of guy this guy is. He's a
Sounds very
creature.
credible.
Yeah.
It sounds sounds like the most honest, truthful. Someone who won't try to backstab. It sounds like just an honest, good guy. It sounds like that's exactly what we need journalism to be, right? Of course not. No, it's such a joke. You're saying there's all these problems with this guy's personal life. Usually what I find is the people who are the most judgmental towards others are usually the people who are guilty themselves, who have a guilty conscience. So, I think that he's just projecting his problems onto us.
Well, I'm not trying to put I believe in forgiveness, okay? I believe a guy can ask for forgiveness. I think you can change your life around, probably an eye-opening event. Here's the deal. You shouldn't be casting stones. That's what this guy does. He casts stones. He hates grassroots concern. He definitely hates Donald Trump. You know that? And I see Brad puts in the comment section, this is true. He actually voted and endorsed Tim Walz. So this is the guy like people think is a Republican. He endorsed Tim Walz, the lockdown governor, the guy voting for all the bullshit, bigger government. He endorsed him. I guess he supported Dean Phillips too. I didn't even know that.
And he blocked Brad on X.
He blocked Brad? Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's so sad. So
it was a Christmas present, he said.
All this guy does is he hates on Action for Liberty, but he's got a lot of swamp creatures that follow it. So all of a sudden we get in this like Twitter thing. Like, listen, we're not big on Twitter. Like, we're trying to get a little bit bigger on Twitter because, quite frankly, it's the platform of free speech. Right? Thank God. I don't know.
Well, besides Truth Social.
Yeah, but no one
Truth
uses
Social.
that.
Oh, that's not true. There's a lot of people on Truth Social. And,
all right. Well, they're just following what Trump says, and that's all Truth Social is, isn't it?
No. There's plenty of other people on there too. I get good information from there.
We couldn't even grow. We tried on Truth Social.
And there's also people, within the chat here that are in my group, Minnesota Patriots for Trump. So, that's a great group that I get lots of good information from. Me and Tucker were spreading good information. So there's a lot of good stuff happening on Truth Social.
It wasn't misinformation, was it?
Not misinformation. All just good, true, good MAGA information.
All right. Well, we need the government to decide that.
Yeah.
All right. So anyhow, it brings out the hater brigade. There's a lot of swamp creatures that hate us, right? Really what they do is they hate you. They hate the conservative grassroots movement. So one of those people is the disgraced former minority leader, former Speaker of the House, Kurt Dowd. So he gets on, he piles on, and he goes, Mort is a loser, a two-time loser. And I'm like, wait, this is the guy that just lost the Minnesota House 3 times in a row. Yeah. Like, you want to talk about a loser? Aren't you a 3-time loser?
And he lost the leadership of his own party, so even even the newly elected Republicans didn't see any kind of potential in Kurt Dowd either. So he's a loser in that regard too. He lost his own leadership, so the party itself doesn't respect him anymore.
We have a Shekels donation of $10 from Base Minnesota.
Praise Yahweh, it says, huh? There you go.
And cheers from K-Wall.
Yeah, hey, K-Wall. And 2 more days until K-Wall and T-Wall are at our event, which I'm so excited. Let us know if you're going to the event in the comment section. I'm so excited to see everybody. Okay, so Kurt Dowd, let's bring up who this guy is, okay? First of all, he works for a lobbying firm, right? He says it's not a lobbying firm. It's a lobbying firm. That's what they do.
He's a legislative lobbyist.
Yeah, he's a legislative lobbyist. You think you can't do that, but they always say, like, the director of public affairs or whatever. They create some title, right? They don't register as actual lobbyists or anything like that in the state, but they're lobbyists. Let's be honest. They're selling influence. In this case, he's selling influence for pharmaceutical companies, some of their representatives, and other big corporations, right? Now, this is the thing that gets me really ticked about guys like Kurt Dowd. Let's pull up the story that we wrote about Kurt Dowd in 2020. So first of all, Kurt Dowd was against us when we tried ending Wells' emergency powers on April 14th of 2020. Here is Kurt Dowd as a lobbyist legislator doing a video advertisement to get your vaccine. Don't take my word for it. Watch this video yourself.
Hello, I'm House Minority Leader Kurt Dowd. There have been a lot of challenges over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, but the vaccines give us hope. The available vaccines are safe and effective. They have been authorized by the FDA and were developed following all federal requirements. Across Minnesota, we are working hard to get as many folks vaccinated as quickly as possible. We are making great progress, and we need to keep that momentum going. I urge you to take your shot today. They are readily available. I took the vaccine, and I hope that you will too. Together, we can finally get back to all of the things that we love. Let's get our economy moving again and get back to life as we knew it. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the guy that used to run the Republican Minority Party. When we say, or minority leader of the Republican Party in Minnesota's House, when we say there's something called a rhino, that's a rhino to you. These guys are not principled conservatives. Like, what kind of guy is telling you to go get the vaccine who doesn't have a medical degree or any scientific degree? The guy was a used car salesman. That's all he's known to do. He's actually a very skilled politician, but that doesn't mean you give advice on vaccines. Now, here's the argument we had in our pre-show meeting. I think blood's on this guy's hands for saying this, right? Because he's using his position as of authority, not just a state rep, but the minority leader of a body or a caucus in the state house. And he's using that position to tell you the bullshit, safe and effective, go get your vaccine, encouraging you to go get your vaccine without any scientific background.
Yeah, he's reading from a script. You know, these aren't his words. The whole safe and effective thing, you heard that from every single rhino, every single Democrat. That was the line to say. That was the CDC line that you say safe and effective so that you don't have to talk about any of the actual repercussions of the vaccine. You know, they lied to us about the vaccine from the start. They told us we were going to get immunity from it. Then you come to find out that you're not going to get immunity from it, and you might not even have any benefits from taking the vaccine except, you know, maybe some side effects. But, you know, then there's the vaccine side effects that, you know, myocarditis that, you know, I'm not saying that it affects every single person this way. I'm sure that, you know, the majority of people who took the COVID vaccine are going to be just fine. But this was an untested, you know, shot. They changed the definition of what a vaccine is. This was mRNA technology, never tried before onto humans. So we're supposed to believe that Kurt Dowd and these other politicians have the answer for us. It's such a joke. We don't need to be taking health advice from politicians. They can give us recommendations, they can give us ideas, but we, the people, need to make our own decisions on this.
But do you think he's culpable here? Like, if you're using a position of authority and you tell people to get the vaccine and then people get injured or die, right? Which can we admit that happens? Are we taken off YouTube for this? Are we going to be taken off YouTube? Do we know, Dustin?
Most likely.
We're getting close.
You know who doesn't get taken off
right
YouTube?
on that line.
Liars like Kurt Dowd don't get taken off YouTube because they never say something of substance here, right? But let's just be honest here. Isn't he liable to some degree if he's using his position of authority to tell people to get a vaccine that harmed him? What do you think?
Yeah,
I mean, if somebody actually took it because of him, then yeah.
Well, you know, that actually is a great point, Bridget.
But probably only those people.
I could see it where no one bought into what he said,
I don't know
right?
how many people would have bought into Kurt Dowd.
I might overdoing his influence. This thing was spread around. It showed up on my feed. I don't know what website it was on, but it came up on the website, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. I gotta get that video."
And I don't know if he's getting paid, but I mean, I can't imagine that he was just doing this, you know, this commercial out of the goodness of his heart. I can't imagine that he was thinking, "This is such an important issue. I need to go make a commercial about it." I would have to think that he's getting something in return for it. So, you know, I think that he just saw it as an opportunity to either make some money or, you know, signal to the establishment that, hey, I'm one of the good guys. I'm on your team. I don't know what it is, but, you know, if I was Kurt Dowd, I'd be embarrassed that I have any kind of video like that out there. And, you know, principled people like us, you would never, ever find any kind of video of us being out there saying, you know, please take the vaccine. You know, ever since COVID was going on, I told people, mind your own business, do your own thing. It's not my responsibility to tell you to do anything or take a vaccine or wear a mask. It's up to you. All of us need to take our own health into our, it's our responsibility, not the government's.
Well, play a little advocating for the devil here. Perhaps he didn't get paid, because here's a speech of him on the House floor talking about the efficacy of wearing masks, where Kurt Dowd, I don't know if you know this, but he's the same article, Dawson.
Yep.
He's an angel, right? He's an angel. He is actually putting that mask on to save you. Did you know that? Let's watch this video here. Kurt Dowd on the House floor talking about masks.
Because I don't want to hope that I don't get COVID. I wear this mask to protect me, and I wear this mask to protect you.
How do you come back from that one? I don't even like how you your base is so against that. Like, we all know that was a fraud. That's why we were anti-mask,
Well, and the mask he was wearing doesn't work anyway. Someone could maybe make the argument with like some N95 mask that there is some level of protection. That's what they wear during surgery and everything. There are certain surgical benefits to, medical benefits to a mask, but it's only in, super controlled environments. It's not, for people outside, out and about, not inside the Capitol building on the floor. So it's such a joke that, he was saying that this mask protects me and it protects you from what? Do you have COVID? The only reason where you would need to wear a mask to try to cover up from people is if you got COVID. Besides that, you're a healthy person who should be able to interact with people just freely.
And even if you had COVID, it doesn't stop COVID particles. It's the microbes.
Exactly.
So it's so dumb, and that's why I never wanted to participate in the mask. Now, by the way, when I say didn't want to participate in the mask, there are the situations. They are the checkmates. My latest son was born in August of 2020. I couldn't get in that hospital without wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. So even me, big anti-mask guy, ends up wearing a mask. I did make it very far once on an airplane ride in 2021 without putting a mask on. A lot of us just have those stupid neck gaiters, which are useless as well. But, there's some checkmates out there. Airports, medical facilities for sure. Like, literally, I went into a medical facility and I didn't even step past the entryway and I had someone yelling at me already. Yeah. It's like, what, am I not going to go see the doctor today? But one of the retorts, and this is hilarious, they show a picture of Mort wearing a mask.
Yeah.
You know about this, right?
Yeah,
because you were in LA.
Like...
That mesh screen mask, which is a gimmick joke. So their big thing, oh, look at this hypocrite wearing a mask, which, by the way, going to his daughter's dance recital or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's literally like a screen.
Yeah, it's like breathing through a chain link fence.
Which, by the way, is just as effective as the cloth mask.
Yeah.
But at least Mort's not going around lecturing you and telling you masks work, right? So a lot of us are guilty of just actually ending up in a position where you have to wear a mask, which sucks. I tried as much as I could, like places I didn't need to be in, like for instance, a grocery store, not wearing a mask and making it like, if someone tells you, it's like, no, I'm not gonna wear a mask, I'm not playing the game. But there are those gotcha ones. Certainly schools, that was another gotcha.
Yeah.
Which really, and that drove a lot of people out of schools. Let's go to the comment section. I see
Rodeo 55 just jumped in and says, hello, Patriots, glad I could catch you live today. And then Cheryl Oftis, can you guys cover the Fall of Minneapolis movie and the stabbing of Derek Chauvin on one of your shows?
I don't know what to say on so here's what I like. If I could just go off topic here for a second. She didn't buy a Rumble rant, he, but we'll divert for a second. The thing that I liked about Fall of Minneapolis was at the very end of the movie, it told the story of police that doesn't get told enough. And this, no surprise, Liz is married to Bob Kroll. Bob Kroll, a lifelong cop, and Liz, very pro law enforcement. And people just don't talk about that stuff. Why on earth would you want to be a cop? They had a story of this guy, and it was recently after the George Floyd thing, and he's a Minneapolis cop, and they have to pull over a guy, and the guy happens to be black, and the guy was not cooperating. He's like, I'm not going to jail today. And they had to stop this guy. I think he did a hit and run or something like that. And it's like, this guy literally decided he's not going to be a cop after that incident because he's like, what are the chances this guy dies in our hands and now I'm on trial? Mm-hmm. And you're not going to get a fair trial in Minneapolis. So that was the one good thing. The other thing was I think some of the way they cover the lunacy of the way that they covered the trial. Now, I personally think, Derek Chauvin was guilty of something, right? Like you see the video, right? Now, was it second-degree murder? It doesn't seem like it, right? So I don't know if the documentary where they weigh in it. I don't think they're saying he's some innocent character. He's guilty of something. Certainly shouldn't be a Minneapolis police officer anymore. But certainly the way that it was handled was ridiculous. It wasn't a fair trial. No, how could anyone believe that was a fair trial, right?
Yeah.
So-
Chauvin could have done himself a favor just by testifying. I know that, some people disagree with that, but I thought that was his one chance to try to get a message out to the world. He rejected it. The lawyers told him to, but that's a bad move.
Now, listen, Liz, if you notice, Liz is the desk where she's talking to Chauvin and some other people right here. She took over my desk. I'll never forgive Liz for that. I give her shit about that all the time. Took over my desk. Not fair. But they actually filmed a lot of the documentary here at Cherry Tree Studios, so pretty cool. We knew a little bit of the background on it. So, like any documentary, I think it's worth watching because you should learn about the story, and certainly it's part of the story that wasn't being told anywhere else. So that's my thoughts on Fall of Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Alleycat62 and talking about the mask. She said the mask actually causes harm, which is true though, isn't it? Because you're breathing in like.
Yeah, I was just talking to Bashofsky about this last night.
Yeah,
I think it has could have some minor risk to it, right? This is where I came down with it. Like the mask to me was a delusion. It was a lie. That's why I was against the mask. I don't go around saying, "Oh, the lack of oxygen, it's damaging." Okay.
Yeah.
I had that position when it came to the vaccine because it could be very damaging, as we learned out. We'll pull this up. I think it's in the show notes. We're looking at Florida's VAERS system. This is from if you guys don't know this, Florida's Surgeon General is actually not like a complete establishment crony. In fact, he's recommended against the new COVID shot. Can we blow up that map at all? That's the VAERS system from 2006 to 2022. And if you notice, look at the jump in 2021 when the vaccines were administered and how many more reports there were in the vaccine adverse events system, reporting system. You see, it jumps up to a staggering amount. And a lot of experts would say that was underreported. And of course, in 2022, there's less in there, and that's probably, if I was guessing, how many people got the booster? Like literally, there's no better predictor of how you vote than you're boosted, right? Mm-hmm. Honestly, no one in their right mind is getting boosted these days, except for the people that are like just afraid to go out and see their shadow every day. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the comment section here.
It's a lot of back and forth about Derek Chauvin, whether he's guilty or not. Razzle-dazzle says
that's the risk
Chauvin
I run
guilty of
in
something.
going off topic. See, now we're off topic, but
We
go
like
ahead,
the
say that again.
interaction.
Razzle-dazzle says Chauvin guilty of something because you said I think he's guilty of something.
I don't know what
And
it
he
is. Yeah, I don't know
disagrees.
the criminal code, but it seemed like he was on that body too long.
of course he was.
Right,
It's so obvious. Anybody who watches that video and then tries to make some excuse for it, give me a break. All you got to do is watch that video and, imagine if that's you because, we don't want cops to become tyrannical. We don't want to, obviously the majority of cops are good guys who, just want to ensure safety. They want to make sure that there's justice. They're trying to do things fairly, but obviously Chauvin was a bit power hungry in my mind. He obviously kind of liked that position a little bit too much. He liked putting his knee in, the neck.
But that
he did for way
the
too long.
documentary does show that was a technique taught by the
No,
Minneapolis
I know,
Police
but
Department.
it's
really the
it's
duration.
perfect. No, and I'm not saying the move itself is bad. You can do it for
Right.
35, 45
It's the time.
seconds, a minute. But the second that he's knocked out cold, he's laying there, completely unconscious. It's pretty obvious that you don't need to choke that guy out any further.
Well, see, now I agree with you on this, Jesse, but here's a question. Okay, he gets charged with second-degree murder. This should be factual based. What was the cause of death? And was the cause of death
This is some
asphyxiation?
contributing factor. Obviously,
Was it a contributing factor? Was that how it got ruled? And it seemed like there was sketchy.
you think him passing out and having when you get knocked out like that.
Well, he was
there's a
certainly
big-
hopped up on drugs.
Yeah,
fentanyl too,
but
and they
obviously,
show him taking
right,
something.
Right, and so obviously there's going to be a big effect on your body to have something
Right.
like that happening. His heart rate is up. I think it's without a doubt a contributing factor. If he would have just died via an overdose in the back of the car, different story. That's not what happened.
But his heart rate is up due to what he was doing. Because if you watch the video, he was trying to resist arrest, a lawful arrest. Like people are trying to undermine what he was doing. oh, it was just counterfeiting. Like, no, he was like they're stealing from them.
The way that I see it, anybody with their hands behind their back, he's handcuffed, hands behind his back. That's a pretty easy person to control, even if it's a 200
No, they
some
couldn't.
odd.
Didn't you watch the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally, he wouldn't get in the squad car.
No, I know, but
So
I'm
it
saying,
goes to the ground. So it's a guy that they have to use a restraint on.
No, I'm not saying that you don't use a restraint. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they were on his neck for too long, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think we all agree that the time.
I don't think so, because there's a lot of conservatives who, they make excuses for him now because the media tricked people. BLM basically made it so that, you can't call Derek Chauvin out anymore because look at these black people rioting. Well, and of course, everyone should be against the riots too.
Right.
But I'm trying to juggle and say two things at the same time, that the BLM riots were bad, and so was Derek Chauvin's actions.
What do you think he's guilty of? See, I think he's guilty of something. It could be like assault.
Yeah,
at
I'd have to
least.
find the exact, thing, but some kind of contributing,
So
to
you
this
think
death.
an accessory to murder, or well, I don't believe a murder occurred. That's the crazy thing,
Right.
Like I don't think he had the he didn't.
He
go
didn't
into
have
this
the
one-
intent to kill.
Right.
Right.
So involuntary manslaughter or
Yeah, accessory to an
contributing- yeah.
involuntary manslaughter or something like that.
Right. Yeah, and once again, I'm no expert on this thing. I don't know enough to say it. All I'm saying is, I don't think he should have been a cop anymore because definitely not following. Like there does come a point where you're putting the pressure too long, right? The guy's passed out. But this is the tricky thing about this thing is like it was so messed up how the media reported it. They lie to us all the time. That's the other thing that was good in the documentary, talking about the lies of the media, right? And Chief Arenado lying on the stand, saying that this is not a restraint and a technique
Yeah,
that they
but,
use. Like that's a lie.
And also, my point is just there's many ways to restrain someone with their hands behind their back and handcuffs. Basically, if you just hold on to their arms and are kind of sitting on their back, that's a perfectly easy way to control somebody. It doesn't require any kind of there's just so many, and especially as a wrestler, I look at it like you're always thinking about body positioning. You're always thinking about the next place you can move, the next place that's comfortable, the next place that you have control and comfortable control, to where you're not intentionally inflicting damage onto someone. There were so many opportunities in that moment, and just the escalation, and all these people surrounding him, with cameras. Get off him! He's knocked out! Get off him! It was so obvious to any person.
I don't know if there is. It's certainly not in the documentary. Any place where people literally are arguing that Derek Chauvin did all the right things.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting because, I got a military background. I don't have a law enforcement background. So what the hell do I know on this subject? It's like, can someone in law enforcement, maybe a group of people, diagnose this? Is there somebody defending everything he did from
Yeah, I
start to
think
finish?
it's a
I don't
small
know
number
if-
of people.
Yeah, I don't know
but-
if that really
and
exists.
it's mainly reactionary people that
Correct.
just were so upset with how the media was covering, which obviously the media was lying big time. They were trying to divide us.
Oh,
they were
yeah.
trying to pit conservatives and liberals against each other. They were trying to pretend like if you don't stand with George Floyd, you're a racist. All kinds of BS when it's like the whole situation's just screwed up.
Well, no, that's what Alpha News is doing. They're trying to get us to all stand with Derek Chauvin, and if we're not,
Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's what
Here's
they're
the
doing.
other thing that's really interesting is I don't want to do that job, right? But are you going to stand here and say that we don't need law enforcement? Like at some point, this is a legitimate conversation we have to have. You're placing people in a position of power. And we here are very worried about that position of power because that could be used against us. So it's like, back the blue to a point. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We
I
do
see
want to
what-
back the blue if there's violent crime, but it could be the blue that's enforcing the next COVID mandates or whatever the pandemic is. What do you got, Dustin?
You saw the documentary, right? So
Yeah.
like generally what's about. What was their thesis? What was their point to the whole thing?
Well, once again, this is what Liz does well is she gets outside of the mainstream corporate media so she can tell a narrative that doesn't have to be approved by the corporate overlords. And so essentially it's how much that the narrative that came out of the official media and actually government officials were lies.
So they weren't trying to come to a conclusion on Chauvin shouldn't be in jail, that kind of thing.
Well, certainly, I think a lot of people, clear-headed people, think he shouldn't be in jail for second-degree murder. He was pleading to third-degree murder, by the way. You guys
Right.
know that? He was willing to plead on that.
But
So-
even like manslaughter of some sort, that would be a jail, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I haven't seen it. I want to see it just to see what they put together like cinematically, but I don't think that they were saying that Chauvin was innocent of everything.
Yeah, I think what you were trying to say is now you're starting to see a pushback in the conservative movement where it's almost as like, I shouldn't say heroic,
Yeah, and I'm not
but
saying
like that he's not guilty of something. It's
right.
like,
I'm not saying I haven't finished the Alpha News documentary yet either, but I do, and I wasn't ascribing those views to them. I was saying that there are people in the conservative movement who have taken that position.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I'm guilty of it too. I go back and forth on things. There's issues that we've thought of long and hard about, and there's other things that are like, I don't know, man. I can see both sides, and that's good. I
Right,
think
we
that's
can't
healthy.
study every issue.
Right, but here's the deal: is did the jury have the ability to look at both sides? That wasn't a fair trial, right? I like how Razzle Dazzle puts it. Agree. Backing the blue to a point, as long as with constitutional rights as they're sworn in. That's why I like constitutional sheriffs,
Exactly.
right? Because you can't just make a blanket statement that all law enforcement's great. There's clearly bad law enforcement. Remember, Minneapolis had a cop that murdered a lady.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, you don't hear about it because it was a Somali black cop who murdered a white lady. She was actually Australian. She wasn't even a citizen.
I don't think that I heard about that one.
There you go. That was like a year or two before. Like literally, she called the cops. It was like fireworks were going off, but she thought it was maybe gunshots. They respond, and somehow when she is talking to this cop, the cop shoots her in the car. It's crazy.
Maybe I did hear about that one. Honestly,
I mean, it was a story.
So many stories came out like since George Floyd and cop stuff. Then it's like all jumbled up in there.
Well, and also I'm seeing another comment there from AlleyCat62 saying a leader of BLM,
I wanted to read that
former
too.
leader of BLM endorsed Trump, and I've been seeing that too, and I think it's awesome because that's an anti-establishment voice. That's someone who hates the system, someone who and I think that the mugshot that's going to win over a lot of Black Americans because they see, okay, the same criminal justice system that I think is out to get me is out to get Trump too. So if Trump gets that the system is rigged. A lot of people see that and go, okay, that's my guy now. So I think it's awesome. I think that a lot of people in BLM who are truly anti-authoritarian, who truly want freedom, who truly want justice, they need to get behind President Trump.
We just went on this huge tangent. I realized. I don't know if someone put us up to this, but
Yeah.
good job whoever made the.
Someone
you didn't
did.
even need to rumble rant. Got us off topic. Where I was going about these haters is then they bring up a Ramsey County judge ruled against us recently. We were trying to protect data from the Campaign Finance Board, trying to get more of our information. Like literally, we're in the middle of 2 witch hunts by a government agency. Actually, do I even mention this? It's not like they're the only government agency that comes after us. We like it's kind of scary. I'm not putting us on the same level as Donald Trump. But the fact that we got a campaign finance board and another agency that's recently interfaced with us, like that are literally like trying to, at the very minimum, waste our time, but at a bigger time, like sink us in legal costs and all that stuff. I'm not worried about a violation unless they're so corrupt that they just literally say we violate without any real evidence, which I do wonder about the Campaign Finance Board. These guys are like they're political appointees. So anyhow, Michael Broadcorp, someone fed this to him, right? I doubt he's looking this up, but he breaks the news last night. A Ramsey County judge ruled against us, and it's like not even a big story, but he uses that, and then the hate brigade piles on. He's literally cheering for a government agency that's literally misusing your taxpayer money to go after an organization like us that's done nothing wrong, but it's a massive witch hunt. And by the way, the witch hunt, how did it start? Republican establishment rhinos. They're the ones that made the false complaint. And then this board, literally twice now, 2 CFP complaints, they have gotten the legal staff say that there's no violation, and the political appointees by Governor Walz said we disagree with our legal staff. Investigate these people. Go ahead.
$20 A4L legal fund from Brad
There you go,
Ganser.
Brad.
Yeah.
We'll need more than that. But
Alley Cat says all conservatives that have a voice are going through it, which is probably very true.
yeah.
Like a lot of organizations.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I need to say this, but eventually what we need to do is sue the hell out of these guys in federal court. Because
K-Wall,
what-
$10.
Oh,
Add
thanks,
this to the
K-Wall.
fund too. The Uniparty sucks. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank
Well, if we're gonna do legal funds, we gotta really boost it up here. But and a lot of people donate to our legal fund, so we really appreciate that. But like literally, that's what happens to us, and we know it. Like if we were irrelevant in politics, no one would even care. They wouldn't do this stuff. But they know we're a threat to their power structure, and that's why they do these things. But in the past, you used to believe the FBI was not corrupt, and they wouldn't raid the home of the former president. You would think that the campaign finance board calls fair plays, right? That they're good referees. We actually dealt with these people. We've had now a total of 4 complaints against us. In the first 2, we found no violation. And I would imagine that's going to be the case here, but it does worry me a little bit with how politicized they are. They won't have any grounding in doing it, but my God, they might just make shit up these days.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're even doing this to us is just sad. It's what's happening in the system. By the way, I don't think anyone thought Ramsey County was going to come to our aid. A judge in Ramsey County, there's no justice in Hennepin or Ramsey County. I don't think I'm breaking any news here, but if you're a conservative, you're not doing well in D.C., Manhattan. Actually, did we talk about this on the show? The guy who literally created a meme and he's going to prison for like 7 months. A Hillary Clinton meme saying vote for Hillary by texting this number.
Yeah.
And he's going to prison for that? It's like, and he didn't even create the meme. What are the comments here?
Base Minnesota says always been corrupt. J. Edgar Hoover was very shady.
That's a fair point, right? But, it seemed like the institution had some bit of legitimacy recently. Maybe not. I guess you go back to Waco. Mm-hmm. Ruby Ridge. Man, we were just sleeping, I guess. We were all sleeping. They've been this corrupt this whole time.
Yeah.
Razzadazzle says talking about Mort's fake news and tweet.
Oh, yeah. So,
Not sure.
we're ranting. So I don't think he's at all running for chair. Okay, so fake news. Pretty funny, though. It's pretty funny that someone created a Facebook page and at least one journalist believed it and reported as if it was fact. And because Mort commented on the page, apparently that's legitimizing it. That's pretty dang funny. That is pretty dang funny. Anyhow, Thursday night at our event, I'm not going to try to promote this at this point because we're pretty much booked, but I think we could sell another 5 tickets or something like that. So if you want to come, or if you're coming, I know a lot of you guys are coming. I can't wait to see you. But Mort's going to be announcing something like that, and then we'll probably talk about it in the show next week. Maybe we won't. Why would we give it away to them for free? That doesn't... No, I'm just kidding. All right, what do we got?
Mort would make a great chair. There might be vacancy next week.
Mort would not make a good chair, in my opinion. You know what? I think we should have Kurt Dowd because even though he lost the Minnesota House 3 times, he's definitely not a 3-time loser.
Yeah.
That's who would unite the party right there. That's to me, it's like, I don't wake up every morning thinking about who's the GOP chair and how important that position is. But honestly, that chair should be the person that unites the establishment and the conservatives. That has not happened. I can't even think of an Downey wasn't terrible. I'm trying to think back when Keith Downey did the job. I always got along with Keith Downey. And then, let's see, was it Carnahan right after him? Is that how it went? Am I missing somebody? Might be missing somebody in there.
BDC 1450 says A for all legal fund, $100. Thank you.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Well,
Yeah, thank you
now
very
I got to
much.
redirect funds, guys. This is for the show. I mean,
That's very generous.
I didn't say I was going to spend them on legal funds. I use this to promote the show. My God, guys. But thank you. I don't know. We'll see what we can do. Thanks, BDC 1450.
Yeah.
Boy, if there was ever a generic. I don't know the gender on that one. What do you think? What's the thing behind it's the yellow? What is that?
A little whale.
A little whale.
Yeah.
Well, let's guess the gender BDC 1450. I'm going with guy for
Non-binary.
some reason. I don't know why.
Okay, well, $5. Fine. Here's a beer fund. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh my God, we got the best audience. I love it. You guys are great.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I think that BDC is non-binary.
Yeah.
Non-binary. I'm
Well,
going
that's
male.
probably offensive to that
What are
person.
you going with?
Probably male.
Okay, Jesse.
I don't know why.
I'll say female.
BDC, reveal your gender, please. It's very important. What are your pronouns?
Rodeo 55 says there are no genders when it comes to the green.
Yeah.
Oh my God, let's get on with the story. Did we cover what we wanted to cover? Let's get on. Oh my God, I love you guys so much. Oh, we have the best audience in the world. Honest to God, I wouldn't even be doing the show if we didn't have you guys. I can't imagine not doing a live show. Do you know no one wants to do a live show?
It's true.
It's wild, and I like it. I think too much stuff in politics is fake. You're getting us in our. I mean, you're getting us in the raw. I guess technically we made William be a little too pro DeSantis more than he wanted to be after
yeah.
a while.
Coming from someone who does this live show 2 days a week, and then I do my own personal live show all 5 other days of the week. Live shows suck. I hate them, but
But all you're doing is playing a video game and talking about
all
it.
you're doing is playing a video game, running your own dials, talking to the audience. Yeah, you're right.
He's a gamer, by the way, if you guys didn't know that. All right. We don't have a gender reveal. Let us know if we get a gender reveal. I just want to know the pronouns of our big donor there. That was so nice of BDC.
Base Minnesota said, I think it's R2D2's brother.
What would be the pronoun? Z?
Apparently the gender is she, says Rodeo 55. Maybe they're related.
Oh, you know who it is? Rodeo 55? Okay. There you go. Jesse got it right. Jesse knows the ladies. Let's go to this Liz Cheney one. This is good. Okay, so she goes on NBC with Savannah Guthrie. Savannah Guthrie. Okay, I don't make it a thing to know all the media heads, right? NBC, big conservative bastion, right? They bring on Liz Cheney, another hater of Trump. Did you know she doesn't like Trump? I don't know if you knew that there, Jesse. Mm-hmm. Liz Cheney, not a big fan of Donald Trump. Now, this is the same Liz Cheney from the family of Richard Cheney, the former vice president, the biggest war hawk ever to exist, like literally got us into Iraq war, right? So that really powerful, great family, my God. Yeah, this is the best thing about Trump is like when he just goes after these families like the Cheneys who really are the scum. Like these are the people. These are the globalists. These are the bad people, right? That's, we can have these little battles against like the Kurt Doubts and the Broadcorps. They're not that important in the grand scheme of things. The people that are important are the Cheneys. These are the people like literally steering policy. And they all happen to go to these like secret societies like what is that one out in California? What is that one called? Why can't I think of it? The one where they praise the big owl. Someone's going to say in the comment section. Totally blanking on this one. That's the one Alex Jones got into back in the day. Why am I blanking on the name of this? You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I know. I'm trying to think of it too.
You're the conspiracy guy. Bohemian Grove. Thanks, K-Wall. Yeah, Bohemian Grove. So, like, that's the people that go to those things. These are like the kind of people that go to Epstein's Island, right? Actually, you know what? They're probably the guys behind Epstein's Island. Now that I think about it. So, anyhow, Liz Cheney, let's go back to that headline, literally says, she makes the argument, if Trump gets elected in 2024, he'll never leave office. There's no question. He'll refuse to leave. Like, what is she talking about?
Yeah.
Like, he left office. Did I miss this somehow? Didn't he leave office in 2021?
Right, and not only that, not only did he leave, he thought he got rigged, so even when he thinks the election was stolen against him, he's still going to pack up his things and leave, it's like he did everything he was supposed to do. It's all just, fantasy land where these Democrats and these rhinos pretend like Trump's an authoritarian who wants to be a dictator for life, and, Trump, he plays into their fears a little bit, because he'll post some videos that say, Trump 2028, 2032, 2036, And then, the ad keeps going. It says Trump forever. So, and it's so funny to see these, rhinos and these Democrats fall for it. It's like you just fell for a meme. That's what you think Trump's actually going to be like.
You think that's where it comes from? Is just literally memes?
I think it's memes like that. And then, they say, and the media, they don't take anything honestly from what Trump said. They pull little snippets to make it sound like, he wants to abolish the Constitution. He's going to kill General Milley. It's like, They just throw everything out there to, make it sound like it's the worst thing in the world. They never want to take into consideration the context of what he's saying. And, it's all propaganda. Liz Cheney knows for a fact that he's not actually going to be stuck in the White House forever. He's by the end of his second term.
Hold on. She suffers from probably stage 4 Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
I think she might actually believe it. She's
No, of course she doesn't. She's not a retard.
Really? She's delusional at this point.
No, she's delusional. There's no doubt about that. But it's all personal with her. It's because Trump has gone after her. He's gone after the family. But she knows for a fact he's not going to stay there forever. I mean, what is he going to be? 81, 82 by the end of his second term? What's that?
Odd One says Trump 2024 could be his son.
That's right. It could be Don Jr. or Eric.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that'd be fine.
That was very sexist. Could be Ivanka.
Hell no, that ain't happening.
She's a lefty.
But we don't want her. But no, I mean, it's just ridiculous that she wants to claim these kinds of things. That he's not going to leave. It's like he's going to be 81, 82. He's going to be happy to get out of there. He just wants to finish the job. He just wants to fulfill the legacy that he was planning for his previous second term. So
yeah,
it's just the only arguments they have is fear mongering to try to scare people about it. But you'd think they'd try to be a little bit accurate, a little bit truthful, because these lies are so bad
these days. I don't know if I do believe that anymore. I think they'll say whatever outrageous thing, and there's enough people that just buy it. I just hope that enough people are woken up to their lies. But yeah, this is the most interesting thing about Liz Cheney. Let's play this here. Liz Cheney argues that it's better to have Democrats in charge of the U.S. House in 2024.
Oh, hold on. Today's website is stupid. And I can't see.
Should have found it on YouTube or something like that to make it easier to.
We allowed.
There we go.
There we go. All right. It was 5.
We're gonna have to boost the audio.
Yep.
In many ways, they can look at it as a practice run, and they know now what it would take, in fact, to attempt to completely unravel the foundations of our republic.
You said the Republican Party of today has made a choice, has not chosen the Constitution. Do you think it would be better for Democrats to regain control of Congress in 2024?
I think that this is a moment where a couple of things are really important. One is, as we talked about, Mike Johnson and the Republicans cannot be in the majority in January of 2025. The House of Representatives may well be called on to determine the outcome of an election if it's thrown into the House.
I mean, this is just crazy stuff. You're Liz Cheney.
Right.
You were previously known as one of the most conservative members of Congress. You're the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney, and you're saying it would be safer for the country if Republicans weren't in control of the House.
I think what we have seen is that you cannot count on this group of elected Republicans to uphold their oath to the Constitution. But what this moment also requires,
that's
Savannah,
enough.
is that
All right,
people
so
come
you know
together.
what I also find hilarious about this is the fake shock by Savannah Guthrie. You're saying this as one of the most conservative members of Congress ever. Like, you literally voted, because you voted for all that less government, all that spending cuts and all that stuff. And that Liz Cheney, no, bullshit. She is part of the worst part of the Republican Party. We all know this. Their dad, literally architect of the Iraq War. And by the way, Afghanistan, which lasted 20 years.
T-Wall for Life says, I told my Dem friend who loves Liz Cheney that her party can have her.
Yeah.
Did you see Kevin Costner back when she was trying to stave off the primary challenge? Kevin Costner, who's a Democrat, voted for or endorsed her and supported her.
Yeah. No, it's
like a Democrat thing. We love Liz Cheney.
The Democrats are so stupid, because let's imagine, let's say, let's pick a random Democrat politician. AOC. Let's say AOC comes out against Joe Biden and endorses Trump. Do you think that we would be bringing her into the MAGA fold? No way. Maybe not AOC. AOC. That's an interesting example.
Doing that,
but
Jesse. I kind of could.
It would. I'm saying not someone like a Liz Cheney though. Liz Cheney isn't an AOC.
See, that's a bad
type.
example. So what a better example would be is like
Josh Gottheimer.
I was
one of the corporate
Colin Peterson, who used to be a Democrat in Minnesota.
Angie Craig.
Yeah. Someone that's like hugging that fence, right?
Yep.
I always feel like Angie Craig's not hugging the fence.
Right. She pretends to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Colin Peterson literally was hugging the fence. Like, he ran as a constitutional conservative, as a Democrat in CD7.
Yeah.
but
couldn't last forever.
Didn't last forever.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? Oh, rigging the election. Let's go to the story. You wrote that.
So
Tell us
go
about
ahead and
this.
pull up that article there, Dawson. This is a new article that you guys can go and read on actionforliberty.com. RNC tips the scale for Rhino Chris Christie, rigging the debate process.
Did it really say the scale? Did you write scale?
Yeah.
Did you mean to do that? Was that kind of
No,
funny?
I did that on purpose, obviously. Chris Christie's always tipping the scale. But, now he's got, Ronna McDaniel to help him out here. So
What are you saying about Ronna McDaniel?
Yeah, she's tipping the scales herself. But
comment on a woman's weight there, Jesse. How that's a low blow. How dare you do that?
I don't care. The RNC is rigging the debate process to allow former New Jersey Governor Chris Krispy Kreme to remain on stage despite his failure to meet the debate criteria. Was a DeSantis super PAC used to keep Christie on stage? Why was a last-minute Trafalgar poll released to inflate Chris Christie's numbers? Why is Ronna McDaniel and the RNC leadership rigging the GOP primary? These are all questions that we need to have answered. So scroll down a little bit, Dawson.
By the way, I just realized I didn't take that caveat out. See how I put, this is a colorful opinion piece by Mega Jesse? Because when Jesse originally wrote this article, all the names of the candidates were nicknames, like trashing them. And I was like, well, we really got to specify, this opinion piece. I'm sorry, I forgot to remove it. I don't know if it's as colorful as it was when you first said it to me.
It's a little less colorful.
It was good. If you put, hey, on your thread on True Social, post your original one. You should do that. People would love it.
All right, well, scroll down, Dawson. Keep going. Okay, right there. Or scroll up a little bit there. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the fourth debate qualification rules, you can see them on the screen there. You need to be constitutionally eligible as a candidate. You need to sign the Beat Biden Pledge, which means you support the eventual GOP nominee no matter who it is. You need to sign a pledge saying that you'll only compete in RNC-sanctioned debates. You need to get 6% in 2 national polls or 6% in 1 national poll and 2 statewide polls at 6% from 2 different states. And then you need 80,000 individual donors. So Chris Christie, I am not disputing the fact that he qualified according to the individual donors, and he did meet one state, New Hampshire, where he's spending all of his money, all of his time, all of his energy. So he does have a couple of 6% polls out of New Hampshire. Barely, yeah. I mean, even with that, it's still just barely, but I'm not disputing that. What I'm disputing is the fact that they claim that Chris Christie has 2 national polls at 6%. Let's go ahead and take a look at what these polls really are. So scroll down there, Dawson. So first of all, I lost where I was going here, but there were 2 or 3 different polls where
Christie was poised to be excluded from the debate stage.
Right. So the first poll that
Super PAC.
Yep. The first poll was commissioned by Fair Vote, but was conducted by WPA Intelligence. And who is WPA Intelligence?
Did you really switch to get my sneeze on there? How dare you, Dawson?
Of course I did.
Oh, my God.
Okay. This was commissioned by Fair Vote, but conducted by WPA Intelligence. And WPA Intelligence was working for Never Back Down, the Ron DeSantis Super PAC. So the Ron DeSantis Super PAC, for whatever reason, found out that, it would be to their benefit to allow Chris Christie to qualify for this next debate. I don't know why the DeSantis Super PAC decided to put this poll out there to help Chris Christie. I don't know if there's some kind of secret alliance between the Christie and Ron DeSantis campaign. And also, this is against the RNC rules. The RNC previously would not allow a poll to be submitted that would have allowed Larry Elder in the first debate because they said this poll is associated with the Trump campaign. Well, apparently, when a poll is associated with the DeSantis campaign and Chris Christie wants to use it, the RNC is willing to look the other way. The rules only apply sometimes with these people.
Can I stop you before you get to the second poll? I think people come here because they want to know your conjecture, what you think here. So what is the advantage of having Chris Christie for Ron DeSantis?
Well, because Ron DeSantis is too much of a weakling to try to take on Trump himself. DeSantis wants to have it both ways. DeSantis wants to have someone like Chris Christie on that stage so that, swings are being made at Trump. Because DeSantis doesn't have the balls to do it himself, so he's trying to get someone like Chris Christie to do it. And also, I noticed the way that Chris Christie acts in the media, the way that he's out in public. I noticed that he's attacking Nikki Haley more than he's attacking Ron DeSantis.
Yeah,
what does
that's
that
what I
tell
was
me?
thinking.
I'm seeing that Chris Christie probably prefers DeSantis as a second choice on that stage, and that's why he's not going as hard on him.
Well, but that's obvious, right? Like, they're in the same lane. Nikki Haley and Chris Christie are in the same lane.
Yeah.
DeSantis is the only one. Well, yeah, DeSantis is the only one hugging the establishment and the MAGA lane.
Yeah.
And Vivek is counting on getting into the MAGA lane, bringing the liberty portions of the GOP, and basically do that. He just goes hard against the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
So that makes sense to me. Okay,
Yeah.
go. What's
and
the second
So
poll?
also, yeah, I think that Chris Christie and, like you said, Christie and Nikki Haley are taking from the same votes. That's why DeSantis sees that as a benefit for him. So the second poll that comes out there, all of a sudden, drops randomly in the middle of the night. Here's the Trafalgar Group releasing a poll on December 2nd, right before Chris Christie would have zero chance of qualifying for this debate. He doesn't have the polls. Then all of a sudden he says, I can submit this one to the RNC. Because this national poll magically found 6.3% of idiots who claim to be supporting Chris Christie. But, what I found from what Trafalgar's website says on their methodology, they have listed ways that they use for methods to poll that is not allowed under the RNC
online,
rules.
I think.
And, if we're going to be sticklers about these RNC rules, if we're going to be making sure they have to be applied fairly and evenly across, that means that Chris Christie should be disqualified. But then there's this third fake poll done
by the way,
by
Trafalgar Group was the group, and we were guilty of this too, quoting them on the show.
Yeah.
Completely got Minnesota wrong.
Right, and that's the thing. Chris Christie does not have 6.3% nationally. It's a joke. He barely would have that in New Hampshire, let alone, nationally. I mean, that's unbelievable. So then there's this other poll, which, as it appears the RNC is counting this one, and it's done from YouGov and a website called the Liberal Patriots. So that means that we have left-wing activists deciding the polls that are going to be counted for the GOP debate. That's a joke. September 7th to September 18th was when this poll was conducted. However, the RNC debate rules state that all qualifying polls must be conducted on or before September 15th. Obviously, September 7th to September 14th is before September 15th, which means this poll should be disqualified. Politico said this, Axios said this, I'm saying this, and all of a sudden the RNC says, well, I guess that's no longer the case. Because the RNC, they have bent the rules before. They bent the rules for Ron DeSantis because DeSantis gets to go there, play grab ass with Sean Hannity and Gavin Newsom on Fox News. But Vivek and Christie couldn't hold a separate debate. There's all kinds of these different things that are going on because they say you can only do sanctioned RNC debates. Well, the rules only apply sometimes, and they never apply to Ron DeSantis. So, to me, what's going on here is the RNC is trying to fool people. They want to make sure that Chris Christie is allowed on this stage. They're really hoping that this gets swept under the rug. They're really pissed that people like me are reading these polls and making sure that all of the qualified people actually qualified. I'm one of the only people in the country right now saying that Chris Christie did not qualify for this debate. Most people just haven't done the research, but when you look into it, you find out that, it was a DeSantis super PAC, it was the Trafalgar Group, and it was a radical leftist poll that put Chris Christie in this debate. That's how he's going to be on that stage. The RNC needs to reject it. So I'm calling on the RNC to revoke the invitation of Chris Christie because he failed in multiple areas to meet the debate criteria, and now is the time to stop these rule-breaking rhinos.
All right, let's go line 18 there, Dawson. I just put Real Clear Politics. I found this Trafalgar Group, and it's kind of interesting. Have you seen Trump, 10, 15 points lower on this one? It's a significant amount. Let me see.
Brad says, good investigative work, Jesse.
Yeah, I know. Isn't Jesse awesome? By the way, Jesse sent this to me. Was it first thing this morning or late last night?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I wrote it up last night. Yeah. Okay, it was just something that I was like, nobody is talking about this. Chris Christie is such a scumbag. I had to get it out there.
I hate this guy.
Yeah.
Look at Trump. He's generally up 50 points, 50 to 60 points if you look in that right column, the spread. But in the Trafalgar Group, the one that found Chris Christie at 6, Trump's only up by plus 37. It's second line, by the way, there in that poll. So it says Trump at 54, DeSantis at 17, Haley at 16, Ramaswamy at 4, Christie at 5. Christie at 6. And then you'll see Christie doesn't break 3 on any other poll. His average is 2.5. So yeah, big outlier.
Yeah,
right?
no, that's the thing. In every other poll, he's at 1%, 2%, and then all of a sudden, just when he needs it, a couple of polls come out with him at 6%. I mean, people need to know these polls are fake. The only way that polling actually works, you have to have a client. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to give the desired result, the poll results for that client. So obviously, maybe it was the DeSantis campaign that tried to pay for one of those. I don't know. But, it wasn't allowed before. Now it is. The RNC is just making a fool out of themselves. And, if they're not going to apply these rules consistently, why the hell should Trump go there anyway?
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on here. You had, do we dare even talk about George Santos? Do you guys want to hear about that?
I don't know.
Trump loves to lie. Do
Yeah.
we have a troll on here?
Yeah, I was
Looks
wondering if
like it.
Dawson's gonna kick him to the curb.
Well, why? It's not a.
Because then it's harder for me to find a real comment.
Oh, well, we're not censoring people because it's harder for you. Jeez, Bridget.
Well, then you have to be patient with me.
What does he say about Trump? Let's go to the first one. Trump loves to lie. Oh, looks like Broadcorp is following us, huh? Just kidding. I assume that was a pseudonym.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute. Oh, it deletes everything.
No, why would you do that?
Oh, fascinating.
Don't feed the trolls, says KWall for life.
I just muted the guy.
Well, was he a troll or did he have an honest opinion?
He
No,
said
it was
he said
a bunch
the guy
of
in the
stuff.
baseball hat looks like he should be in school.
Oh, really?
It is not constructive criticism. I promise.
Yeah, it was all like Fifth Amendment crap.
What was the Fifth Amendment? My God, we're a little too.
I couldn't read all of it.
Zuckerberg
It
there.
doesn't matter
Did you see
anyway.
how long it was up there for?
Yeah, we're just gonna waste time on
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
Guys,
but
that's good TV. Like you gotta
No,
let
it's
the
not.
haters.
no,
in a little
I'll
bit,
tell you,
too.
it's good TV. George Santos.
Okay, yeah, I guess we do have. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
All right, I stand corrected. Trump smelly tea. Okay, so
I told you.
it's. I stand corrected on this one.
Yeah.
I thought there was legitimate criticism. I didn't read them, by the way, but I thought maybe there's some legitimate criticism. Yeah, it's clearly someone that's.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, all right.
Nothing constructive.
Funny stuff. All
Somebody,
right.
somebody has this amount of time to spend in their day getting accounts blocked.
Yeah.
Scary.
I don't know. I mean, you gotta love trolls to some degree.
No.
I mean, trolls are on both sides. It's pretty funny. Although it can put you in
Sometimes.
prison for 7 years or 7 months, apparently, if you're in New York City.
Base Minnesota says, Jesse, what do you think about your boy Oliver Anthony hugging shirtless with Bert? I don't know that last name. Kreischer?
Bert Kreischer?
Kreischer, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I saw that
Is
on
that is
social media.
Oliver Anthony?
Okay, here's the funny
Is
thing.
he
Oliver
Jesse's
Anthony,
buddy?
everyone knows who this guy
Yeah.
was. They probably forgot his name. That's not his real name, by the way. It's a stage name.
Oh.
Um,
I know that.
Oliver Anthony was he's the guy that did that song Richmond from Richmond. Okay, so he became a sensation overnight.
Not from Richmond, north of Richmond.
What did I
Right?
say?
Richmond from Richmond.
Richmond, north of Richmond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I not
You
say
said
that?
from Richmond.
No, I'm sorry.
He's probably
Richmond,
from
north
He's
of
probably like,
Richmond.
wait a minute.
And there's this recent. I saw this on Instagram, hugging Bert Kreischer, the comedian. I don't know anything about it. What do you know?
Yeah,
about
I don't know anything about that either. And yeah, I mean, is Bert Kreischer a radical leftist or something?
No,
I mean, I
Kreischer's,
don't know.
Kreischer's just a comedian.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he-
No, I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to think. Base Minnesota.
Yeah. What was your point, Base
Yeah,
Minnesota?
I don't know. I don't have
All
an
right.
opinion. I don't care.
Remove Base Minnesota. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Jeez. Yeah, it is kind of funny. I guess it was a troll. I got that one wrong. Don't let me do the moderation. I'll screw it up. I just am worried because I don't want to literally censor someone. Then that's no
Yeah.
good. But
North
yeah.
MN says, didn't Christie suspend his campaign?
No, Chris Christie's still in it. It's unbelievable. Nobody knows why. And Chris Christie actually said he's going to run through to the convention. I don't believe that. I don't see that happening. But yeah, I mean, it's about time that
'cause
Chris
you
Christie
don't-
drops
you don't
out.
see him running.
I don't see him running. Yeah. So
He's
no,
been
I
tipping
think
the scales.
yeah, he's tipping the scales, and so is Rana.
I think KWall or TWall earlier said, that's honest journalism, Jesse.
It was really good journalism. Do we go to what did you want to say on George Santos? Let's get to
Honestly,
that.
if we just want to play the Gates video, I think
Play
that's
the Gates video.
most important one. So this is what Matt Gaetz was saying on the floor about George Santos, about the expulsion, about why we shouldn't be doing it, and it's basically exactly all of the points that I'm thinking myself. So he makes the point pretty well.
With Botox or OnlyFans is far less concerning to me than the indictment against Senator Menendez, who's holding gold bars inscribed with Arabic on them from Egypt while he is still getting classified briefings today. But he's not getting thrown out of the Senate. He's getting classified briefings under indictment for bribery. But what? Because Santos was buying Botox and OnlyFans, we got to throw him out?
Yep.
That's a fair point. I thought about tweeting out. So now the standard is if you get Botox with campaign funds, you're thrown out. Now, listen,
right.
That's a joke.
And
he's done a lot of. It looks like Santos is guilty of a lot of things.
Yeah.
The point is he's got his day in court, right?
Right. Exactly. And that was the biggest point about Matt Gaetz. He was saying that only in American history, the only people who have ever been expelled from Congress were either a part of the Civil War, helping the Confederates, or they were convicted of a crime. Now there's a new standard of justice. Even the authors of it had admitted it. When the real corruption, you look at someone like Mike Guest. Mike Guest was the guy who was on the ethics committee, he's the chairman of the ethics committee, who filed this motion to expel George Santos. Well, that guy, what is he doing? Insider trading with the defense contractors. So that guy, that's perfectly fine. You're allowed to profit off of war in Congress, but if you buy an OnlyFans subscription with campaign money, lock him up, get him out of here. It's such a joke. You look at Jamal Bowman. He actually pulled the fire alarm in Congress. That's a crime. He was obstructing an official proceeding.
He was confused, Jesse.
No, he wasn't.
Confused. He thought it was
I
a door
saw the
opener.
video. He wasn't confused.
Oh, Jesse, fake news. He was looking for the door opener.
But that's the thing. Jamal Bowman, no problem there. Not even a vote. You look at Nancy Pelosi. The insider trading is ridiculous. All of these people get to stay in Congress, but George Santos is somehow worse than them.
Tina Smith.
What a joke.
And
Tina Smith, exactly.
Big money maker.
Yep.
By the way, what's really funny? In looking at this, the troll here. You know what trolls do? We should be welcoming trolls. Because when trolls then take over your feed, then we have to go to only the Rumble rants.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, see, there you go.
Need to clean up all.
All right, we got a lady here. I mean, my God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What happened?
They were coming from Mike Giller. He says need to clean up all like Santos. Integrity is greater than party.
Well, yeah, no one's disagreeing with that. We're just talking about if that's the case. By the way,
Yeah, if we're going to do that, then get out all of them.
Correct.
But the problem is we're not going to have a certain version of justice sometimes, and then all of a sudden
Exactly.
it's a completely different story when we're talking about something else. And if the votes aren't going to be there to get rid of Jamal Bowman, then we shouldn't have given the votes to get rid of George Santos, because here's what Matt Gaetz says. He says there's a member of Congress who's going to resign to work at Youngstown University as the president. Some people say Kevin McCarthy might resign. And then all of a sudden, if a couple of these congressmen, octogenarians, die from the Republican Party, guess what? Democrat control of Congress. And guess what? It will be all of the Republicans' fault who voted to expel George Santos, because we could get down to where it's a one-vote majority, and then it's going to be completely... it's going to be the responsibility of these rhinos that try to get rid of him. And, how much of a storytelling ending of the Congress would that be for the Republicans to accomplish nothing in there, and then at the very end of it, they can't even keep the majority. It sounds about right with the idiots that we're dealing with.
Well, and I've heard that he's now doing cameos, George Santos.
Yeah,
that right?
that's
Okay,
what I'm
so there you
seeing
go.
too. And actually, John Fetterman got him to do one about Rob Menendez, the senator from New Jersey who is getting all those gold bars and everything, and he told Bobby to hang in there and don't quit. That's pretty funny.
Let's go to. So I see Tucker had something about Fetterman, and you got the comment. I haven't even seen this. Go to the Fetterman comment here on George Santos. I want.
This is what he said on The View.
Probably roasting Democrats all day long, but I like to give credit when credit is due. And John Fetterman is actually using common sense. He found the expulsion of George Santos to actually be kind of comical, because it's kind of hilarious that you lie about your record to get into office. But has that ever happened before? Probably nearly every election. But he's questioning why they're still allowing Senator Menendez, a Democrat who accepted bribes from Egypt to benefit the business people, to still be in office. And it makes total sense. It's actually great.
We have a colleague in the Senate that actually did much more sinister and serious kinds of things. Senator Menendez, he needs to go. And if you are going to expel Santos, how can you allow to somebody like Menendez to remain in the Senate? And, Santos's kind of lies were almost, funny. And he, landed on the moon and that kind of stuff. Whereas, I think, Menendez, I think, is really a senator for Egypt, not New Jersey. So I really think he needs to go.
Okay, that's not AI, right?
No, that's real.
Did you check?
No, I watched him on The View. Yeah, I watched the clip.
Oh my God! So I'm pretty certain he can ask for the vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should start a petition or action
get
item
Fetterman
to get Fetterman to because what is the Senate? Isn't it 51
49?
49.
Yeah.
So if you got one Democrat on board, you got let Kamala Harris come to the Senate and vote to keep. Well, Melendez can even vote on that. Did George Santos vote in his?
Yeah, Santos got to vote on it.
So Melendez will be the tying vote.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let's see here. Well, we got an independent. You got. I'm not talking about Bernie Sanders. Let's be honest.
Cinema.
Cinema. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Fetterman, you can bring the vote. Let's see it, big guy.
Yeah, I know it would.
I'd
be
have a little bit of
interesting.
respect for him then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If Fetterman actually tried to take on some of the corruption, that would be a great thing for him to do.
God, that's interesting.
Yeah. No, I think it's
cool.
Boy,
it is really interesting when you catch him in the raw. Let's go to this. Let's indict the mofo. What is this video?
Yeah, I think this is a great way to end the episode. I think you guys are going to love it. It's one of the best videos I've ever seen, and so I just had to put it in the show notes.
I haven't seen this yet, so let's hope.
All right, I assume this is the Trump.
Yeah.
Song. Okay.
Bing bong bong bing 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 bong bong bing 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 bong bong bing 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 bong bong bing bing bing. Let's indict the motherfucker. Bing bong bong. 6 o'clock. I think I'm being indicted again. Bing bong bong bing bing bing. Let's indict the motherfucker. Bing bong bong bing bing bing. You don't mind if I go off script, do you? Most indictments in the shortest period of time. Who is it? Trump. Trump! But when they indicted me, and then again and again and again, I was never indicted. Now I'm setting records. Al Capone was not indicted so much. If you looked at Al Capone in the wrong way, he'd kill you. He was not indicted like me. They had a weightlifting deal. There's one young woman, she was so proud of it. They put a quarter of an ounce on each side of the thing. Then this guy who recently transitioned. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Let's indict the motherfucker. Bing, bong, bong. 6 o'clock, I think I'm being indicted again. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Let's indict the motherfucker. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. You don't mind if I go off script, do you? We will immediately stop all of the pillaging and theft. Very simply, if you rob a store, you can fully expect to be shot as you are leaving that store. Shot. Get up! You deserve a little entertainment. I have a problem. Everybody wants it. They're screaming, dance, dance. Bing. My wife, the first lady, hates when I do this. She said, it's not presidential. I said, yeah, but people like it. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Let's indict the motherfucker. Bing, bong, bong. 6 o'clock, I think I'm being indicted again. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Let's indict the motherfucker. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. You don't mind if I go off script, do you? You don't hear about the American dream anymore, do you? You used to hear the American dream. The American dream, there's no American dream with Biden. I mean, a guy can't find his way off of the stage. Look, here's the stage. And this guy gets up. Where am I?
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Why'd I lose here? They said, sir, please don't say that. It sounds too obnoxious. I said, I don't mind being obnoxious. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Let's indict the motherfucker. Bing, bong, bong. 6 o'clock, I think I'm being indicted again. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Let's indict the motherfucker. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. You don't mind if I go off script, do you?
Have you ever seen the video of that was really good, by the way.
Yeah.
Of Kamala going, "Don't come, don't come," and
Yeah.
then Trump goes, "I'm gonna come, babe." Have you
Yeah.
seen that one?
Oh yeah. And then there's Bernie. We got to come together.
Oh, I haven't seen that
Yeah.
part.
Yep. No, I mean, I'm glad we got that out there because
That was good.
It was like I found that yesterday. And I was like, oh man, this is the most creative thing I've ever seen in my life. I loved
I
it.
can't get that out of my head right now.
Yeah. Bing, bing, bong.
Anything else before we sign off here?
Not really. Some people comment on the video. Base Minnesota says cringe alert on the video. And then Rodeo 55 said the video is great. Mama 3, love the video. It's awesome.
Roomba Man. Yeah, there's a
Roomba
that's
Man,
a joke by I think that's a Shane Gillis joke. How Trump or Biden basically turns into a Roomba when he gets off stage.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, my goodness, Jake. Never say
yeah.
I'm gonna. Yeah, sorry about you, Minnesota.
Yeah, they're
I
gonna
was
use
like
that.
thinking, do I do that? But okay. It's a good video if you haven't seen it yet. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the internet always delivers.
Is there a
yeah.
show
love the
Thursday?
internet.
Brad's wondering.
Yeah, we'll do a show on Thursday. Probably somewhat shortened, so we can get to the studio to sign on. But I know not everyone, obviously, that watches the show can make it to the awesome Christmas event on Thursday. So, we'll do the show beforehand, and then we'll head over there. So Jesse is speaking. You got a 10-minute rant, and I'm speaking. Mort speaking. Mark Bashowski's our MC. It's awesome. Bridget, you want to speak?
I'll say hi to people.
Okay, she'll say hi. There you go. You got Bridget saying hi. William will be there. Mr. Straight Laced himself. Dawson will be there.
Dawson's speaking.
Hell no, I'm not speaking. I'm debating whether or not I wear a cutoff.
Oh my gosh.
That's my big
that
question.
would be kind of funny.
It would be funny.
I'm not gonna have a dress code for you.
Brad
So-
said you're coming as Santa, or for people to come, because you're dressed as Santa.
He says I should be dressed Santa?
No, he said if people want to come to the Christmas party, they'll see you dressed as Santa.
Oh, no, Ken.
Razzle Dazzles, Jake, did you join Hunters for Hunters? Money Toad show promo, $5.
Hunters for Hunters. Was that the is that the wolf thing? Razzle Dazzle? Is that the wolf? I'm gonna write an article on this too, by the way. Minnesota hunters are really upset about the wolf population. The deer population was terrible in Minnesota. But I'm not saying wolves don't have a thing about it, but we had some pretty nasty winters, because quite frankly, global warming not really happening up in Minnesota. So it's been some rough winters. I think that's probably the biggest reason there's a deer kill. But I think that's what you're talking about. Hunters, Razzle Dazzle, was it join Hunters for Hunters? Is that?
Toward the show promo? Oh, that's what he was
I hope
saying,
that's what he's
$5.
talking about. I should know.
Let me see. There was.
Since he did a Rumble rant, I'll make sure to look here before if he's not responding. Hunters for Hunters. Sounds like what I was hearing.
Yeah, I think there was another comment about that near the top.
Yeah, there was. I don't see it anymore though. I think I.
Oh, there's a
refreshed.
website. Hunters for Hunters. Oh, did Steve Porter start this? Want to make a difference. We've had Steve Porter on the show. He's the one with the deer farm. Why do I not know much about this? Should I know more about this? Oh, Razzle Dazzle says yes. Okay. Look more into it. Honestly, don't know. A big hunter, obviously, but I don't know. So there's a single deer plan, $35, bucket doe plan, $50, whole herd plan, $60 every year. I don't know much about this. Interesting stuff. All right, we got to run. We'll see you on Thursday here at 1 o'clock live. And for those that are coming to our Christmas event, at Action for Liberty, if you still want to buy tickets, I think we got like a couple tickets left. Make sure you sign up immediately, and we'll see you on Thursday in person up in Mounds View at the Mermaid. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.